No one wanted to adopt this dog with a deformed face, until one family changed his life. Most people love the idea of adopting a dog just as long as they're cuddly, lovable, and cute, but everyone's hearts turn cold the moment they see a dog with a weird nose or some other form of strange birth defect. That's why one dog with the sweetest heart couldn't find a forever home, because of his unfortunate facial deformity. But against all odds, the dog finally managed to win his owner over. You won't believe the heartwarming story of how one family managed to turn things around for this adorable pooch. Clifford's a dog with a cleft palate deformity, and he wound up on the streets when his human family became homeless. They had no choice but to give him up to a rescue who could give him a better life, but it wasn't easy. Clifford's family took him to Angel Animal Medical Center in Boston. Then, MSPCA Angel put the pooch up for adoption, but despite losing his family, Clifford managed to stay upbeat. Clifford's condition prevented him from eating regular food, so he needed to eat things that wouldn't hurt his mouth. But he remained as cheerful and lovable as ever, which is how he found his new human dad. Will Stoltenberg had been working with the rescue for nearly a year when Clifford walked into his life, and it was love at first sight. Soon he started spending a lot of time with the pooch, and eventually he realized that Clifford was destined to be his pet. Clifford had been in the shelter for about 3 months. I was drawn to him because I wanted to be able to help him overcome his disability, Stoltenberg told E! News exclusively. I wanted to show him that the world is filled with fun and possibility, said Stoltenberg. It became his life's mission to make sure that Clifford had a fantastic life. The gap of Clifford's cleft palate affected his nasal passages. This created a serious health issue because he could have developed a lung infection. Frankly, he was lucky to survive puppyhood, as the cleft can cause problems in nursing. Clifford's condition could have been far worse than anyone had anticipated. He was prone to some serious infections. So before Stoltenberg could officially adopt him, the pooch had to undergo surgery. Stoltenberg claimed that Clifford was slowly recovering from the surgery. He even posted after photos, one of which had the pooch wearing a cone of shame so he wouldn't scratch his stitches. Stoltenberg brought Clifford home. He noticed that the dog was scared of vehicles, women, skateboards, and even other dogs. But eventually, he taught the pup that the world wasn't a scary place after all. A year later, he was like a completely different dog. He has one more surgery still coming up to remove some teeth, so he will be resting it off for another couple of weeks, unfortunately, added Stoltenberg. Meanwhile, Clifford is adjusting to his life with his human dad. After the surgery, Clifford was like a brand new dog. He seems much more playful and affectionate now that he has a calmer, more open home, he explained. But the pooch is already destined for a higher purpose. Once the dog with a cleft palate had fully healed, he'll have a huge responsibility. With his future as a service dog, I expect he will continue to change and feel the better for it. There's no such thing as a bad dog. They all have lovable qualities that often outweigh the frustrating ones. Stoltenberg added that, if you treat a dog right, any one of them will love you in return regardless of breed. Use your heart and your mind if you're unsure about buying or adopting a pet. Adoption will set you back $50 to $200, whereas buying a pet can cost you $500 to $1,000. And there's another downside to buying one. If you buy a pet, you're turning your back on a homeless furry creature that probably has less chances of finding a home. If you choose to adopt, you're not only saving a life, but you're giving and getting the gift of love. You'll likely get tons of extra love from an adopted pet who is loyal, smart, and just as adorable as a store-bought pet. But first, you'll have to get over your fears and uncertainty about adopting a rescue. The rumor mill often spins lies, like the fact that dogs that come from animal shelters are physically unhealthy and/or emotionally damaged. That's not necessarily true, but there are exceptions, of course. There's no way to guarantee that your pet will not have health problems, and if anyone knows this, it's Dr. Evan Anton, who adopted a shelter pup. But in his experience, most of these health issues are easy to handle. According to Dr. Anton, most adopted pets suffer from kennel cough, skin conditions, and parasites. But all of these issues are easily treatable, and they shouldn't stop anyone from adopting. But what if the problem was more serious? Would you have the heart to adopt an animal with a birth defect? Cleft lip and cleft palate are oral deformities that occur while a fetus is still in the womb. It's caused when the mouth or lip area doesn't have enough tissue to form properly, and that's just the beginning of this nightmare. A cleft lip causes the two sides of the upper lip to separate, giving the gap that extends above the base of the nose and affects the upper jaw bones and, in some cases, the upper gums too. But not all clefts are created equal. A pet can have a cleft palate without a cleft lip or a cleft lip without a cleft palate. In some cases, both can occur on one or both sides of the mouth. This can be caused by a number of factors. Scientists believe that genetic and environmental factors play a role in the formation of clefts, but the odds of a cleft increase if a relative has had this issue. But there's another way a pet can develop a cleft. If a mother dog is exposed to chemicals or a virus while her pups are in the womb, this could cause a cleft palate to develop. But regardless of the reason, the outcome of these dogs is grim at best.